What up, everybody? It is your girl, Melissa. Woo woo! It's Friday, y'all. I got a special guest with me who I'm so excited for you guys to meet today. So I have Dr. Elisa Robin.
I am so happy to be here.
I'm so excited you're here.
Yeah. This is wonderful.
Yes. So, Ignite viewers, Elisa actually has a show here on KUHS as well. Let them know about you.
So my show is on Thursdays at 11, the second and the fourth Thursday of every month. And I talk about love and money and our relationship with money and our relationships with love and try to help people feel hopeful.
Yes. Hopeful is good.
Yeah.
I'm hopeful.
That's good. Right,
Yes.
We need hopeful right now.
Yes,
right.
Definitely right now. We're not going to go there.
Okay, no.
We went there a little bit earlier, guys.
Yeah.
And, you know, we're just going to save that chat for a little later.
That's another show.
Yeah, that's another show.
Maybe next week that'll be my show.
Yeah, we'll get into it. We're definitely going to get into it for y'all. Let's see. I'm going to try to sign on to get your guys' comments and see them here. So then we can interact with y'all.
Right, I'm doing the same.
Everything that's going on. All right. Awesome. So today, guys, we're going to be talking about astrology. Because I don't know if you're like me. Like, I know a little bit about it, but I don't know, like, a whole lot about it. So it has to do with, like, your signs and everything, too,
Your
right?
signs are a piece of it.
A piece of it.
So the idea about astrology, and it's really old, like we know the Egyptians did astrology. We know people before the Egyptians did astrology. The idea is that when you were born, every planet in our solar system was in a certain place in a certain sign. And each of them has like an indication of your personality. Okay?
Yeah.
So it's more than just your sun. So when you think about your sign, you're talking about where was the sun. So right now the sun's in Pisces. Right? So we have people having, who are Pisces having their birthdays.
Yeah.
But when you were born, the moon and Mars and Mercury and Venus and Saturn and Jupiter and Pluto and Neptune and Saturn. I probably forgot one. We're all in some sign, in some configuration in the sky.
Yeah.
And that's what I do. I run a chart, and I can sort of show you.
Yeah, I'm so interested in this because I don't know if y'all get questions, but I get questions all the time when people are like, what is your sign? And I'll tell them like, well, yeah, your astrology sign. I'm like, I'm a Sagittarius. And then they'll give me like this look. And I don't ever know if that's a good look or a bad look. But I've heard things about Sagittarius. So
Sagittarius is the gypsy of the zodiac. So I sort of collect stories like I have a perfect Sagittarius friend, and he was a fighter pilot, and then he was a international airline pilot, and then he retired, and now he does domestic private flights, and he loves being in the air, and he loves being in different places. Classic Sagittarius, and he loves telling stories. Classic Sagittarius, the gypsy and storyteller of the astrological charts.
Oh, see, that's like the nicer side of Sagittarius.
Well, we all have a nice side and a not so nice side.
So
Right?
when I tell people like I'm a Sagittarius, they give me that look like, oh. And I'm like,
they knew a Sagittarius they didn't like. But you could have, for example, your sun, sign of Sagittarius. Let's say you had 4 planets in Scorpio when you were born. And there's also your ascendant, your rising. If all of that was in Scorpio, you would really be a Scorpio flavored Sagittarius.
Oh, what does that mean?
So that all that Scorpio energy would show up in every other part of your personality. So people might go, wow, you're an odd Sagittarius. You're so passionate. And you would say something like, well, my moon and my rising are in Scorpio, so that's why. So when you know the language, you have this sort of other information.
Yes. I'm going to learn that information, guys. We're going to learn that today.
We're going to learn that.
So what is this chart that you have?
So when somebody runs your astrological chart, it looks like a big circle with like little pie slices.
Okay.
Okay? Each of the pie slices is called a house. And as you go around, you can see the edges. Each house has an astrological sign associated with it. And so this is like a map, a picture of where all the planets were at the moment. Well, this isn't your chart. This is like the chart I just read for right now.
Yeah.
But when I run your chart, it'll be a picture of where everything was when you were born.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Can we do that? Can we
Yes,
run the chart?
we can run
Y'all,
a
you're
chart.
gonna learn what kind of Sagittarius I am today.
So we do a few different things. I'm gonna leave that chart and I'm gonna go back into here. So we look at the chart, and then what I do when I work with clients is I look at their chart, but then I also look at where is everything today.
Yeah.
Right, where are the planets? And the relationship of those planets to your chart, that's what tells you what's going on in your life.
Ooh.
Okay, so what's your birthday?
So my birthday is December 8th. Y'all ready for this? 1983.
Right, good year. Do you know what time you were born, by any chance?
I do not.
Okay.
I know I was born in the morning.
Okay,
I
well,
do know that.
you do
the
know?
AM.
Like before breakfast, after breakfast?
Before breakfast.
Okay, so we're going to guess like maybe, I don't know, 6 in the morning. How about that?
That sounds good.
That sound like a good time? And in Denver, maybe?
I was born in Greeley, actually.
We'll just,
Yeah.
close enough.
Denver.
It-
We're going with Denver.
Because we don't have, okay. All right, so now this is, whoa. So this is a picture of where everything was when you were born.
Oh.
Okay, it's kind of interesting, right?
It is interesting.
So the reason, so what do you, if you just look at this, what you see without knowing what anything means is that almost everything's on the left side of your chart, and you are a real Sagittarius because you have your sun is in Sagittarius, 3 other planets are in Sagittarius, and you have a Sagittarius rising. So the rising is, at the moment you're born, there's a constellation coming up on the horizon, and that's called your rising.
Oh.
Whatever that constellation is.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
So you are a Sagittarius. You like truly are a Sagittarius. And your moon, the moon, when you were born, was in Aquarius, which is where mine was, and where my sun is. And so I love Aquarian energy.
Yes.
And that says that you love Aquarian energy because our moon sign tells us a little bit about who we are emotionally and who we are emotionally attracted to.
Okay. So what's an Aquarian?
Okay, so
Like, what is that?
so what happens when I start this is everyone's like, okay, tell me about Leos, tell me about Scorpios, tell me about, so we can go around and do sort of a quick if you want. So let's start with, you've got all this stuff in Sagittarius, and you're a perfect radio personality for that, right?
Oh, that's good.
You can tell stories, right? You're probably good at sales. You'd probably also be good at picking up and going to another part of the state or the country or whatever, right? Like
Yeah.
adventures.
Yeah.
And adventures can be physical, like go to Peru. Adventures can be have a radio show. Adventures can be go skiing. I mean, right?
Yeah.
But there's an adventure spirit inside of you, is what this says. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
to you?
yeah, definitely. That's exciting.
So, so that's a Sagittarius. Your moon is, so our moon sign, so the sun is our ego, the part of us that goes to work. Our moon sign is our emotional part. Like, so you go out for a girls' night, right? And you're with your girlfriends. Your moon shows up. Now you don't feel quite maybe as talkative. Now you're in your emotional side. So moon in Aquarius. Aquarians are a little, I'm an Aquarius, so I get to say this, we're a little quirky. Okay. Aquarius is the sign of genius and insanity in the chart. Now I have to say to you, every single sign has, like you said, like a good part, and then a not so good. Right?
Yeah.
And we all love the not so good part of our sign. We all do, right?
Yeah.
Like a Sag is a free spirit. And they go, yes, of course I am. And you say, well, you know, you have trouble sometimes committing. And they go, of course. Yes, of course I do.
Yeah.
Okay. Capricorns, if we just sort of go around here, Capricorns, they're builders. They like to build things. They also are a body in motion stays in motion. A body at rest chooses to never move again.
Okay.
Okay. And so a Capricorn, if they sit on the couch, it's hard to get them up. Okay. And they'll go, well, yeah, I'm resting. I'm good. So they know that about themselves. Aquarians have that element of otherworldly thinking, just kind of a bit of insanity, and I don't mean that in a mental health frame.
Yeah.
I mean it as they're just always going to be kind of the out there thinker rebel. They are the rebel of the zodiac, and it's almost just inbred. Like I don't even know when I'm being rebellious.
Yeah.
Right. Somebody asked me the other day, "Are you a rule breaker?" I said, "No. My problem is I usually don't notice there are rules."
You're like, just do it and ask for forgiveness.
Oh, really? There was a rule? I didn't know. Okay. So that's that moon sign of yours. Pisces is known for being empathetic and emotional and kind. The downside of a Pisces is they're so intuitive, they know what you're thinking. So their assumption is you know what they need, and they don't ask. So you're always saying to a Pisces, well, what is it you want?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. And then they get upset when they don't get it.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's a classic sort of Pisces thing. But they're lovely. I mean, empathetic and kind. And let's see where we are. And like I said, people always want, well, what about my sign? Aries, and so if you think about these also, you can think about mythology.
Okay.
So you probably had a mythology class at some point, Roman Greek mythology somewhere, right? Or something about it. Aries was the god of war.
Okay.
So what would you think an Aries would be like?
I don't know.
Sort of driving, right? I mean, like focused, on a mission, right?
Yeah.
Right? And they're proud of that. And they're good at that. Right? Taurus is the most sensual sign in the zodiac.
Okay.
Right? You always want to go out to eat with a Taurus because they enjoy their food so much. So they're fun. They're really fun. And they're deeply sensual. And they know that. Gemini, and you've got kind of an interesting thing in Gemini here. This is called the North Node. The North Node is, they're nodes of the moon. North Node is what your soul came here to do. And the kind of astrology I do, I don't do predictions.
Yeah.
I do, why are you here? As in on the planet.
Yeah.
Okay? Your soul wants to communicate. Gemini is the sign of communication. Oh. It's the sign of quick thinking. It's the sign of being able to see both sides of an issue and understand them and communicate them well. Again, you're a good fit for radio.
Well, that's good. That's good to know. I still got a job, y'all.
Well, and I'd say you're probably going to be, I don't know, I mean, we haven't had a conversation, so I don't know what you want to do with your life. But I can say that all of this Sagittarius, gypsy, storyteller, adventurer, is going to get expressed through bringing, like, in relationships, because it's in your 7th house, bringing people together. Somehow. Politics.
Yeah.
You would be really good.
I don't know about that. But someone told me the other day, they actually messaged me the other day,
Right.
like, that you're the one that brings people together.
Yeah, well, you are. But that's why you think about that for the future.
I know.
Right?
I really, like, when you said that, I was like, oh, wow. Because, like, I literally was just told that the other night. So I was like, oh, that's cool.
That's very cool, isn't it?
That is cool.
And wouldn't we love politicians that bring people together?
It's a good thing.
Right, yeah, isn't that a good thing?
Yes.
Right, so.
That's awesome.
Let me just finish, because you know you've got a Cancer person out there going, what do I do? Cancers love to feed people. If you have a Cancer friend, even if they're mad at you, they're going to feed you. You're going to go to their house. They're going to, right? I mean, they're the person you call when your dog dies. They're the ones that have, it's not quite empathy. It's more like a sense of deep understanding of how to help take care of somebody emotionally.
Okay.
Okay? Very, very watery kind of sign. Leos. So Leos, there's only 2 signs of the zodiac that I can ever predict. If somebody says, what do you think my sign is? Okay, only 2. One is Leo, because a Leo, here's how they do it. They'll do this little head toss, right, with their hair. Like,
yes.
Even if they have short hair. Like, what sign do you think I am? Right? Because they're the lion, and they're preening their fur, right? They've got this beautiful mane. They're natural leaders. One of my best friends is a Leo. And I'm an Aquarius, we're sort of opposites, but when we travel, I just sort of I put it together often, and then once we get going, I just let her go, let her be in front.
Yeah.
Because she likes to be in front.
Yeah.
Because she's a Leo, and I love her, and so that's fine. Virgos are the experts at perfection.
Okay.
They know this, and there's a good and a bad, as you can imagine.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? I'm an Aquarius, kind of in the realm good enough launch. Which you don't want me in charge of the space shuttle, perhaps. But, the idea, I do the idea of the space shuttle,
yeah.
and the Virgo makes sure every nut and bolt is exactly where it should be when it should be there.
Nice. That's a
Okay.
good thing. We need those.
We need
Virgos.
those. And then just 2 more. Libras are the scale. They're the balance. And Libras are happy if you have a lovely aesthetic. Think about taking them to a museum.
Yeah.
Right? Any museum. And talking about fashion through time or art through time. They just have this beautiful, and they have a sense of balance. So that the way life works, they can make it okay.
Yeah.
And then we're going to end with Scorpio because we went around the loop. And I have to say, Scorpios get a very bad rap. So everybody thinks Scorpios are the sex sign of the zodiac. So every sign of the zodiac likes sex. Pretty sure. I've done a survey.
Yeah.
Scorpios are passionate, and they feel emotion deeper than any of the other signs.
Okay.
So passion often is expressed sexually.
Yeah.
Right? But it's not as much about that as it is that sense of overwhelming emotion that when they experience things.
Yeah.
So that's sort of a quick trip through the
Okay.
zodiac, which may not be the question you asked me, but there you go.
No. I was laughing because when you're like, you're a Sagittarius, I was like, maybe that's why I get that look. Like, I'm a Sagittarius.
Well, you should brag about it.
I don't know what it means, but I'm
You should brag. You're an adventurous. You're a storyteller. You're a gypsy at heart. You're courageous. Sagittarius has long vision. A Sagittarius is in it for the long haul. Right? Like, let's say you decided right now, wow, I could be in politics. You wouldn't necessarily go out tomorrow and change anything, but you would set your sights on that and never waver.
Yeah.
That's a really powerful thing.
That's awesome. That's so good. This is so good today. I love this.
So then it's just sort of everybody's chart.
Yeah.
And so today, if I flip over, where did I go? There I am. This is the chart of what's going on today. And you can see over here, you don't even know what they are, right? But you can tell there's a bunch of stuff gathered up over here. There's a number of planets that are very close together in the sky in Capricorn. And they've been like that for a while. And there's another planet that's retrograde. So let's do those 2 things, because that's like the really powerful. Unless I'm talking too much. And you'd like to ask me a question.
So interested. I'm learning it all. Like I was telling her earlier, I was like, I know a little bit about astrology, but I've never known in depth. And I guess because everything. So then when you ask your friends, your friends will tell you what they know or what they hear, but you never really get in depth
most
of what
people
it is.
don't know that astrology is this complex.
Yeah.
And this is why when you read your the prediction in the newspaper,
Yeah.
it sounds like everybody, because to make it specific to you, we have to know all these things.
Yeah.
Right? So
Yeah.
it's much more complicated than just your sun sign. And it's fun. It's really fun.
It is. It's really interesting too, because I'm like, what are all these? Like, I'm all in one spot.
So there's two things going on in the sky. So there's one thing that it convinces everybody about astrology, and it's called a Mercury retrograde. Have you heard of that?
No.
I've even heard it used on TV shows, like, oh my gosh, is Mercury in retrograde? So Mercury is a planet. Mercury was the communicator, the messenger of the gods. All right?
Okay.
So if he was the messenger of the gods, then the planet is about communication.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
So there are times, have you ever been sitting at like a stoplight like this, and the other car starts to move backwards and you feel like you're going forward? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So all of the planets have a different shaped orbit and a different speed in their orbit. So there are times when it looks like one of the other planets is going backwards in the sky.
Okay.
It looks like we've speeded up or it's going backwards.
Yeah.
Okay. Clearly it hasn't.
Yeah.
Right? It's still, but relative to the Earth, it's going backwards.
Okay.
We call that a retrograde.
Oh,
Okay? And whatever that planet governs gets almost like a stop sign in front of us.
Okay.
And we feel like we're being pushed backward or inward. So imagine for a moment the planet of communication, which usually goes out, and it goes backwards. It's all getting pushed in. So it went retrograde, February 16th maybe, and it's been retrograde in Pisces, and it's now in Aquarius, and it will go direct on the 10th.
Okay.
So here's the things that I would bet would have happened. Oh my gosh, we had a coronavirus scare during that retrograde. Oh my, right?
Oh.
Right? We had, it's the scare, the communication of it.
Yeah.
And then miscommunication of it.
Yeah.
People's cell phones break, or their computers crash, or their internet at home gets wonky. Or you and I decide to meet for lunch at 2 o'clock on the 3rd, and you show up at 3 o'clock on the 2nd. So we get things confused.
Yeah.
And we feel frustrated. And people feel scared and frustrated because we don't want to hang out inside and reflect on who we are.
Yeah.
Right? So does that sound like the last couple weeks at all in your life?
I don't know.
Odd things happen with computers, with communication, with people having arguments that make no sense.
Yeah, I would say the arguments that make no sense, because there's been some of them, let me tell you.
Okay.
I think you heard some of them earlier.
Yeah, right. So I'd be interested, because Mercury retrogrades convince almost everybody at astrology, because when they think about them, they're like, oh my gosh. Right? And I've had dozens of people texting me, is Mercury retrograde? Is it retrograde? Yeah, it's retrograde. Just wait, it'll get better. I had a friend who contacted me and said, oh my gosh, my car was stolen. That's terrible. The next day, they actually found the car, and nothing had happened to it. Like, somebody drove it from point A to point B. It was fine. I'm like, okay, great. She called me 2 days later. Somebody hit my car and totaled my car. What? Like, it was just stolen and found. She's like, yeah. And then she called back and said, they're going to give me more money for the car than the car is worth, so I can buy a new car. I'm like, Mercury retrograde. All of that weird. So it looks bad, but maybe it's good. And it looks good, maybe it's bad. That classic retrograde.
Interesting. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I like that.
So that's been going on. And then it'll clear up on the 10th. It takes a couple days after that, but it goes direct on the 10th. And then there's 2 planets in the sky that have been next to each other for quite a while. They're big planets. And see if this makes sense to you, because this has been going on. It was really intense in December, and it's gotten more intense, and the after effects will be here for a while. So the planet Saturn is the planet of structure, how life works, right? how policies work, how technology works, how we all understand how we go into a restaurant and it works, and how if you how the law works, and laws are real, and policies are a really good example. That planet has been snuggled up against Pluto. Pluto is the planet of, I don't like how that's working. And in fact, I think I'll just take a wrecking ball and knock it all down so you can rebuild it. Right?
Yeah.
Those planets have been next to each other in the sky. So the planet of here's how things work is hanging out with the planet of really, I want to show you the dirt under how everything works. So to do that, I have to shake it all up.
Yeah.
It has to be, you have to see everything at the base of it. And all of your assumptions, I'm going to take those down to, I'm just going to take them down so you can look at them.
Yeah.
That sounds like world politics right now?
Kinda, yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting. I'm just thinking about stuff, so I'm like, yeah, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah, so and a lot of astrologers are using this kind of stuff right now to talk about, finances and politics and to try to calm people down.
Yeah.
The world's not out to get us. The universe isn't out to destroy us.
Yeah.
Right? But we're in a time of fear based on some of this, and some of these changes, some of these aspects can be a little scary. Like if you thought you had everything in place. I mean, imagine, for example, going to the grocery store, and we know how the grocery store works. We walk in, we pick stuff up, we go, we check out. Well, what if all of a sudden you go and they go, well, we don't take money anymore. You don't take money.
Yeah.
Well, do you take credit card? No, we don't. You have to go over there and buy that other card and then come in, and only you. You're like, what?
Yeah.
When did you change the rules? Oh, you didn't notice? We changed them. Now think of that on a huge level in our lives.
Yeah.
It's disconcerting.
It is. Yeah. It's so crazy that you put it in that perspective, because even like working in retail, like, I mean, I'm dating myself. Well, you heard my birthday anyway, but.
You are so not dating yourself. Like, I'm sorry, who are you talking to? Come on.
But like the first time when a lot of places got rid of checks. And when people were coming into the retail stores, like where I worked at the time, and they were like freaking out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what do you mean you don't take a check? Like, what's going on? Like, it was like complete panic and like hysteria.
Right, yeah.
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 So that you bring that up, I was like thinking about that, because I'm like, it's so true. Because then like something like, you just like, what? What do you mean? Like, when did this happen?
When did this happen?
Yeah.
I joke now, if I go in to buy coffee and I have cash, my joke is, okay, I have this paper stuff. You may not have seen it for a while because everybody uses their phone or uses their credit card.
Yeah. People look at you because, like, I carry cash a lot, and so, like, when I even go pay for gas, like, they're just like, why are you not paying with your card? Like, I'm like, because I have cash.
So if I was going to look at, so the way I would do your chart is I would look at where everything is right now, okay? And I'm just going to like pick a couple things kind of quick if I can. So we look at, I'm going to look at opposites right now just because it's an easy thing to do. So the planet Uranus in the sky, which is the planet that governs Aquarius. So it's the planet of unpredictability. Okay? Just like I don't know what's going to happen, and I didn't see that one coming, right? Complete unpredictability. The rebel planet in the sky. It rules Aquarius, the rebel. Okay? So that planet is in the sky, is in the sign of Taurus. Taurus is the sign of I'd prefer if nothing ever changed in my life, ever. So you can imagine that planet is not that happy in that sign.
Yeah.
What do you mean nothing's going to change? Like, everything should change. Right?
Yeah.
So that planet in the sky is at a right angle to where your moon is. Okay? Right angle. When things are at a right angle, they create tension. They make us wonder. about, like, feel kind of stressed and wonder. So what's happening right now, it's like that emotional part of you. What do I desire? What do I crave? Where, what do I value? Second house, third house, also, what do I feel I should be doing with my life is under a lot of pressure right now. Okay? Like, you're rethinking what you want to do and who you want to be, and probably feeling just a tad rebellious right now.
Yeah,
so
I'm with you.
And especially at work. It's not actually in your house of work, but it is in the house of what we consider money or stuff, and how people view you. So this might be a time too where, since you work in retail, it might occur to you occasionally that you wish you could choose your clients, right? that somebody, so I'm an astrologer, I can choose my clients. I mean, I can say I can work with somebody well or not. People come to you in retail, and there they are.
Yeah, they're all right.
There they are, right? And so you can't really be rebellious in that situation. So have you been thinking it's time for a change on some level?
And it's probably bad to say. Sometimes I don't even think it's so much the like customers. I think it's sometimes like the people you work with.
Well, sometimes
right?
it is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's this rebellious piece about who might.
But I'm one of those. I'm very outspoken. So.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Aquarius moon. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So even if it was like a customer, I'm very like, I will still tell you how it is.
That's right, and especially right now.
It's probably bad.
Well, because that sense of rebellion right now, and desire for independence, and to do it differently, to have a change. And it's second house and it's third house for you, meaning it's in third house is communication. Again, there's a change coming for you, honey, in all of this stuff. This is really kind of fascinating. My hunch is that radio becomes more important than your day job, and that something else comes out of that. I still think politics or speaker, change agent, like speaking and changing people's lives, is probably where you're headed in your life. So think more. I mean, it could be more Oprah and less Elizabeth Warren, right?
Yeah.
But that kind of that's probably the future you're headed towards. Would you like that? Would that resonate? Can you see yourself doing that?
It resonates with a lot of stuff that like I've been just thinking about lately, or like I journal a lot. So
okay, good.
For me, like I'm like, oh, well, I just journaled about something about this the other day.
And then if we look at your chart, you have 3 big planets in Scorpio. I mean, and your rising is barely Sagittarius. Well, depending on the time. We're not sure.
Yes.
Right? We're not positive, but we're going to guess. You have a lot of Scorpio in your chart, and you have it, again, Scorpio's passion, and we can't hide it. I have a lot of Scorpio in my chart, and I can't hide it. And people will say to me, you're kind of like spicy for an Aquarius. You're kind of like, because Aquarius, I've been told I'm too passionate.
You could never be too passionate.
I've been told I'm too passionate.
I'm going to just say right now, you could never be too passionate.
Never be too passionate. I agree, girlfriend.
Take those passionate people. I'm going to tell you right now, y'all. You need to take those passionate people, because there's a lot of passionate that are non-passionate people out there. And I would rather have such a passionate person, just me personally, than someone who just does not like show feelings or anything. Like, I don't know. I'm a very how to put it? I'm a very affectionate person, like very like again passionate. Yeah, like person. So like that's very important to me.
Absolutely.
In that aspect. So it's like if you can't be like, if I can't reciprocate that back, it's like okay, like I'm just kind of done.
Oh, that's Scorpio there. That right? Because you don't think about that with Sagittarius. Yeah. It's not that they can't be passionate. It's just not their first instinct, right? their first instinct is to like get on an airplane and run away. Scorpios, that Scorpio energy just can't do that. It feels things so deeply, and it shows up.
Yeah.
And like you, I have this kind of and I think sometimes what's hard is where we come across not as angry, but as committed or passionate or engaged or something like that, and it scares people.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of people tell me I'm very intimidating.
That would be that Scorpio.
And I like honestly don't get it. I don't know where I'm intimidating at. And I'm like, what? What do you mean? And they're like, you just come off very intimidating. And I'm like,
well, if we're not sure exactly on this time, we're close. If it's in Scorpio, then yeah, I have a Scorpio rising. I have men tell me they're terrified of me all the time. I'm like, really? And sometimes is that like a pickup line or something? Like, I'm supposed to be turned on because you're scared of me? Like, no. So not.
Like, that's not the case.
That's not working. But yeah, with that kind of energy, we intimidate people.
Yeah.
Without trying. I mean, I'm just being me. I'm not, and just like you, you're kind, you're understanding, and you're smart. And why is that intimidating? It's because it has that passion behind it.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, I mean, all of that's great stuff about you.
That's a word.
And that's just like a first look. That's not even a deep dive into you.
This is exciting. I'm really interested. I'm like, now I'm never going to read those Women's Day magazines the same again.
Right, yeah. Well, you know what you should do? Read Sagittarius and Aquarius. Because Aquarius is your moon. Okay. See if that, and then you get me your actual birth time for sure, and we'll run it, and I'll get your actual. We'll figure it all out.
Yeah, that's so awesome. Thank you so much. You guys learned a little something about me today.
And maybe about yourself, right?
Yeah.
Like and if, here's the other piece. If Mercury is, which is Mercury retrograde in Pisces, for you, Pisces doesn't have quite that strong of an effect. It has a bit, right, the retrograde. But as it goes retrograde into Aquarius, you might feel it more and more. You might feel like, oh my gosh, the world seems crazy around me. So wherever that is in somebody's chart, wherever that retrograde is, that tells us how it affects them.
Yeah. That's crazy, because I was just telling her earlier, I was like, I'm just a mess today. Like, I was like, I'm dysfunctional, I'm distracted, like, I am just all over. People are losing their minds out there, y'all. Okay, I'm going to bring it up just a little bit, okay? I'm going to give this like a 1-minute session talk with the coronavirus, right? People are just going crazy. Like, it's putting our world into hysteria right now. And it's just mind-blowing to me of like people's reactions and how people are acting, and like, I don't know, it's something out there. It's crazy.
So that Mercury retrograde is making the messaging of it more confusing, and it's in Pisces, so it's very emotional. So people are much more scared than they would be. It'll go direct on the 10th, and by the 12th, I think I'm not saying the virus is going to calm down, but I think the attitude and the emotions will calm down some. Okay? Yeah. But I think the other thing that's happening is we're looking at our systems and saying, what works? Again, that's Saturn, Pluto. Here's the structure. Does it work? Does it not? Well, at an emergency, what do we think? So really, it's a good time for us to think about what's the world we want to live in.
Yeah. Right? I'm constantly telling people, even like today, I'm just like, don't live in fear, guys. Don't live in fear. I mean, I guess I have a different, everybody has their own thing, and everybody has, what they believe in and everything. And, for me, I'm just like, I'm covered by the blood of Jesus. Like, I believe in God, and, I'm just like, I'm a realist. Yes, I understand. Take precautions. Do that. But don't live in fear. Like, don't live your life in fear. For me, fear is of the enemy, and it's like, we're going to overcome that. Like, don't let that, like, grow into you and like manifest into you. Like there's nothing to be in fear about, because if you actually sit there and think about like everything, you could be in fear over every little thing. You could be fear of walking out of your house because of something happening. So it's like, don't do it. Like, just guys, okay, I'm gonna end it right there because we ain't gonna get into all this politic coronavirus stuff. So y'all, that's the craziness for today. So if people want to come to you, is this what you do? Like,
this is one of the yes. So let me tell you just a bit about myself. So
tell us about
I have tons of academic degrees, just because. So I have my first career. I was a geologist for a big oil company. Left that. Have a PhD in ed psych. So I changed fields, and I ended up as an academic dean at 3 different institutions. And I just left that career to open my own consulting practice. And I put myself through my PhD as a professional astrologer. So that's how I paid for school.
Yeah.
And then when I became a dean, I kind of stopped doing it, but I didn't stop, reading about it and learning. I just wasn't using it as much.
Yeah.
And now what I do is I work with people on their fears, quite honestly. I usually focus on money. Like, what is your relationship with money?
Yeah.
And how do we move you from fear to security, right?
Yeah.
Or into hope, love. And I use somebody's chart often to get started in that conversation. Because money is such an integral part of our lives, just like love is, I usually end up also talking about relationships with people. Right, and so sometimes I do a one-off, like my first reading for somebody is usually an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Oh, okay.
Of really in-depth stuff. And often they go off and they're fine, but more often they want to talk to me once a month, or every week for a bit to get on top of their money issues and what is the psychology of money. And so my studies over the last several years have been about behavioral economics, the psychology of money. Kind of what I've read most about and studied about. Yeah. And it's just kind of fascinating. So now I want to help people with that.
That's so awesome.
Right? Because I want people to get that, not in a magical way. I don't have this thing, well, sit at home and visualize money pouring down on you. Yeah, that's probably not going to happen.
But if it does, let us know. We'll be there.
Absolutely. We'll come visit. But what, so for example, do you know that 70% of people who hit lotto, and I mean big lotto, millions, are broke in 5 years?
That's crazy.
70%. They're worse off financially. It's how they think about money. It isn't that, they have plenty of money. How they think about money is what gets in their way of living well. I have one of my other best friends who has a very, very limited income. She lives like a millionaire. She's a camper, she drives around, she visits her kids, she goes to state parks. With not a lot of money, she's having a millionaire's life. Yeah. Her view of money is completely different. Yeah. And so that's one of the things I help people with.
That's awesome. That's exciting. So y'all, we're gonna put her information and lock it in the pin and in the comments. So if you want to get with Dr. Elisa, you can. And also tune in on her show, guys, on Thursday afternoons.
So next week, and I'm actually going to talk about hope.
Ooh, come on, guys.
Right.
Yes.
So everybody needs a little hope right now. Right?
Yes.
And you can go to my website. So I have a website.
Yes. Share all your information.
And an active blog on my website. So my website is elisarobin.com, and Robin is spelled with a Y. So ELISAROBYN.com. You can find me. People can message me there. They can message me through the station. They can message me through Facebook. And I can work on Skype. So it doesn't matter where somebody is. We can still see each other and work. If they're local, I'll meet them at like their favorite coffee shop and we can sit there. So I really make it easy for people. And then I have a blog that I write every week. So if they go to my website, they can sign up, and I will send out the MP4 or MP3 from the shows, and I send out the link to my blogs and just maybe a little other chat. And I try to, my tagline is inspiring a renaissance of spirit. Okay. So what I want to help people do is almost like a spiritual rebirth. Yeah. Whatever spiritual means to you, right? I want to find that. but where they feel like they can be who they want to be in the world.
Yeah, that's so good.
And you can be the next Oprah / Elizabeth combination.
Be there in the middle, y'all. Get you with your
Be
girl.
both of those together.
And speaking of blogs, she's also an author. So you have your book here.
I have my book.
Yes. So tell us a little bit about your book. It's called The Way of the Well.
So it's The Way of the Well.
Yes.
And it is a spiritual romance.
Oh.
It is based on a very old Jewish myth that, so if you've read scriptures, right? Where the Israelites are wandering through the desert, and they keep finding water. Right? The reason they find water is because Miriam has a magic well that she can call up. So it's all about the women. The women make this work. Right? Miriam has this magic well, and it's a Jewish legend. But I mean, you can see it in scripture, but it's a Jewish legend. And so this is about finding the women in here, healing their relationships, their family relationships, finding their spiritual path, and falling in love on the way.
Yes, come on, somebody. Falling in love.
Falling in love on the way. And it's on Amazon. People can find it on Amazon.
Okay,
absolutely.
Awesome. That's so exciting. I want to get this book. When you told me you had a book, I was like, oh, I'm in it. I'm a bookworm, so I love reading.
I love reading.
And so I actually asked that on my last show because I was like, guys, if you have anything that, like, recommendations, drop them in on, like, books that you have read that you want to share. Because I love reading books, so books are like my thing. Like, I don't know. Sometimes I have to slow down because I'll read like so many.
Like three at the same time, right? Like one downstairs and one's in the bedroom.
Yeah, but I'll finish them quick too. So like I literally just got this book last week, and it was like it was called Relationship Goals, and I got it like in the afternoon when I got home, went to the mail. I got it and I was like so excited, and I was already done with it by like the next morning because I just like couldn't put it down. So I like just love reading. I'm like, oh, this is so good, especially ones that like grab you. And
ones that grab you, absolutely.
Yes.
I know. I get on the treadmill. I mean, I'd rather be outside, but if the weather's bad, I'm on the treadmill with a book. I'm going through the book. Like, this is great. I can do 4 miles and get through this book.
Yeah. Well, I'm not, coordinated like that. I'd like run into a door.
No, the treadmill's okay. I only do it on the treadmill.
Even that, I would like fall off and hit it and just be like going. I'd end up on a YouTube fail or something. Like in the security round, they'll be like replaying it.
Oh, look at me! I'm on the roof.
They're like, there she is. That's her, and I would know why they're laughing every time I walk in. But yes, I love to read. So I have a question. What is like? I love how you got into everything and you're so educated and just doing amazing things. So what is like something that someone has inspired you, like maybe they've said to you that's always stuck with you that you would want to share with our audience?
Wow. So this was like my first love said this to me this ages ago, right? And he didn't actually say it ages ago, but I was talking to him, and I said something. I asked him if he'd ever been proud of me, right? Not something you usually ask somebody in a relationship. And he said, "Oh my gosh," he said, "I watch you, and I know you're scared, and you go forward, and I watch you stand up and take a stand up." Eat without thought of your fear, because I'm courage. If you're trained to do something, you just do it. If you're in the military and you're trained, then your training takes over. If you don't have that, you just have this sense of being afraid and doing it anyway. And I don't know that about myself at all. And I have to also say the thing that most recently probably, so about 3 years ago, and I'm fine, before I say this, just know I'm fine. About 3 years ago, my mom and my husband died 2 months apart. And when my husband died, my house was full of people. Just full. I had girlfriends rotating through and they flew in from California for 24 hours. A cousin flew in from St. Louis for 24 hours. I didn't know I was that loved. and the way the women and the community showed up for me, I had no idea at all. And when I would say that, people were like, how could you not?
Yeah.
Like I had no idea. And in that several weeks after that, people were telling me how I had touched them or helped them or guided them or trained, and I had no idea.
That's good. It's so special.
It was.
Yeah.
Just like this, like, amazing.
Yeah. And it's so good, like, and it was probably such a refresher to you, because I think at times we all kind of feel that in a sense, like we don't feel like, you know, like, what am I doing, or like, does anybody even care? So then when you get that like reaffirmation of like people pouring into you,
wow, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's so good. That's so good. See, guys, that's hope right there.
That's hope right
so
there.
So you need to tune into her show next Thursday, because she's going to be talking about it, and it's going to be so good. So tune in, and we're going to drop in all the links and everything into the comments so you guys can get connected and follow Dr. Elisa. She's amazing. And so I just want to thank you so much for coming on today.
So fun. Thank you for having me on.
I'm so excited, and I'm going to get this book, and then I'm going to have to talk about it and do a review.
And then you're going to get your birth time, and you're going to let me know, and I can know your real chart.
I am. Like, while we were here, I was like thinking, I was like, I should text my mom right now.
Your mom will know. It might be on your, for most people, it's on their birth certificate.
Yeah.
But otherwise, ask your mom. They usually know.
I'll be like, Mom, tell me, instead of like me digging for trying to find my So let me tell you, I just went through this whole thing of like not having an ID for like 3 months. Like, yeah, I'm just a mess, girl. I'm getting myself together. I'm going into the second quarter, okay?
That's good. That's good. The first quarter was rough.
Yeah, first quarter was rough. We're just now starting, jumping in second quarter. That's why we're getting in the game, y'all. We're getting in the game. And, you know, let me tell you about getting in the game, because we were talking about being distracted earlier, and just my whole thoughts are like everywhere. So, you know, I kind of dropped the ball on these past 6 days. But the 7th day, your girl's gonna get it together. I have on Ignite with Melissa, this tournament going on, and so get connected, guys. Tomorrow, everything's gonna drop. Everything's just gonna be amazing, and your girl is gonna get it together. All right, I got my signs. I'm gonna get the full visual. Your girl's gonna. We're going in the second quarter, about to win it, y'all.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So I just want to thank you so much for coming on.
Anytime. This was fun.
Yes, and if you have anything for the viewers to let them know about you, you know, again, she's on KUHS, guys, on the stream. So
you can find me on Facebook. You can go to my website.
Are you on Instagram, Twitter?
I'm on Instagram. I'm sort of on Twitter. I'm on LinkedIn. But yeah, I'm out there. You can find me.
So she's out there. Get her book. I'm gonna show your book again.
Okay.
The Way of the sorry.
It's okay.
The Way of the Well. You could get it on Amazon. Is it on any other?
I think it's on BarnesandNoble.com. It's
Barnes and Noble. So guys, go out there. I know I'm definitely gonna get it. I like love reading, and I'm so interested in about it. So I'm super excited.
For you to tell me what you think.
So thank you guys as always for tuning in from wherever you're at. Again, I always just like to thank you guys, because you know you take time out of your day for this hour or whatever the show may run, and you just take time to listen in and view in and connect with us. And I just want to thank you, and from the bottom of my heart, just thank you guys so much for the love and support, and we appreciate y'all and we love y'all. And so as always, like I tell you guys, if no one has told you today, you have purpose, you are loved, and you belong. So y'all girl, Dr. Elisa, and y'all girl, Melissa, signing out today, guys, on the stream, KUHS. Love, peace, and God bless.